You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI Mo Kelly, we're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Last night we were talking about AMC theaters, how they were going to go through a renovation to make their theaters more up to date as far as the entertainment offerings, that make the theater going experience that much more attractive to folks like you and me. Pre-pandemic, I would go to the theater 3-4 times a month. Easily. Whatever was coming out, there was usually something to see. I would spend my time and my money in a movie theater, something I thoroughly enjoyed doing. I never went at night because I didn't want to deal with kids and the texting and the talking, so I usually went for matinees. Since the pandemic, I almost never go to the theater. It's unfortunate, but it's true. And once we get into the real deep part of winter, we haven't even hit winter yet. I can't tell you the next movie that I plan to see in theaters. Well, actually, I can. It's probably Captain America. That's not until February. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And outside of that, I can't think of a movie that I want to see. Maybe Thunderbolts. That's May 2025.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are two movies that I can tell you that I want to see in theaters between now and basically the end of the school year. It was never like this. It was never like this.
I've got at least 3 movies I'm seeing in November.
What?
Next week, on the 15th, or maybe the 16th, I'm going to go and see the Red One movie.
No way.
I am. What
I am.
about?
Okay, the people don't know. That's the movie which Santa Claus gets kidnapped. It's Chris Evans and The Rock.
Top elf, The Rock, to partner with a world-class tracker and Chris Evans to go and find Santa.
That's just...
I thought that was streaming. That's in the movies?
No, it's coming to theaters.
Right, exactly.
I honestly...
You going to pay $20 for that?
I'm using my AMC pass.
Mark, are you going to see that Red One?
I'd rather go to the dentist than see that movie.
And you don't even want to go to the dentist, so that ought to tell you.
No,
way too much hate.
Okay, so that's one. What are the other two?
I will be seeing Wicked on the 23rd in theaters, taking the kids and the whole family. We're all going to go see Wicked.
Okay, but I saw that at Segerstrom Theater.
Well, Mo, I wasn't fortunate enough to go to the play.
No, I'm just saying that the idea of then watching it in movie form, I don't know, because...
Look, it will be my first experience seeing it in movie form. Right?
All right, so you're 0 for 2 for me.
What? 0 for 2?
For me.
Oh my
for
God.
me. What else you got?
And then the third one will be Moana 2 on the 26th.
Oh, hells no. I'm with Mark Rodder on that one.
What?
None of that means I, as a grown-ass man, need to go see Moana 2 in theaters. I didn't watch Inside Out 1 or 2 in theaters. That can wait till streaming. Even your kids are old enough now. They're at a point where you don't need to take them to theaters. They can take themselves.
They can, but we're all going to go and see these. We are looking forward. Look, Moana, the original, is one of my favorite Disney films. I watch that film all the time. I don't know. I really, really love the story. So when I found out they were doing a part 2, I was going to go and see that.
Okay. They can't do it because they can if you know the story of Up, and also Ed Asner's dead. But if they did an Up 2,
it would be really morbid.
It would be for that. And I say that because Up is it is my favorite Pixar movie of all time. More so than any of the Toy Stories, more so than any of them. Okay?
Okay.
Up. If they came out with Up 2 tomorrow, I still would wait for that thing to hit streaming. I just would. I'm not,
Wow. See, then in December, even though I'm not looking forward to it necessarily, but I am going to go and see Craven in theaters.
Mark,
yes,
tell this man hell no.
Well, I probably will as well, but only to review it.
Okay, that's a reason.
You can write that off, okay?
Hey, do what you need to do.
You still never get your time back. You can't write off the 2 hours.
There's an animated Lord of the Rings film, Lord of the Rings, The War of Rohirrim.
I'm not even watching Lord of the Rings on streaming, that TV show.
That series is good. It's really good.
I wouldn't know because I'm not watching it.
Okay.
There's also this Dune series, which is supposed to be coming out.
Yeah, I don't like any of the films. There's no way in hell I would watch those.
Mark, would you watch the series?
Both Dune and Lord of the Rings bore the living daylights out of me. I think those are things that you have to have read as a kid and just be hardwired for them, because I've sat through plenty of that stuff and it does nothing for me.
Okay, but I think this highlights my point. Whereas AMC can upgrade their theaters, but if you don't have the compelling content, which is going to inspire the masses of folks to get back to going to the movies regularly, consistently, what's the point? I'm not going to spend $25 to see Moana 2. I'm not. I want to let that thing hit streaming,
how many
and I'll watch as part of my.
No. Oh, God.
Okay, well, you and your family enjoy yourself.
But it's lots of families. Movies, I get you. Movies they need to be for adults as well. But families go to the movies. It's a good time out.
Well, great for y'all, but for me, it's not compatible. That's what I'm saying. I'm right back to where I was. I'm going to see maybe 3 movies in theaters before graduation.
Okay, what about Gladiator 2? That comes out November 22nd. Big Ridley Scott movie. It's got Denzel Washington in it.
Name the last good Ridley Scott movie.
I think anything he does is worth watching.
You're wrong.
But, I mean...
Well, run down the IMDb for me real quick.
It'll take me a second to get to that.
Oh, look, you've got Gladiator 2. You've got Wolfman coming.
Oh, when's that?
Wolfman is coming January 17th.
Oh, next year. Got it.
Okay, hey, look, I'm just trying to give you something to look forward to. Love Hurts. Love Hurts is going to be very, very good. Love Hurts is a new, unassuming martial arts film. It stars Data.
Oh, yeah. The trailer looks
really good.
Looks good.
Guy from The Thousand Eyes of a...
That doesn't narrow it down.
No. He was in Loki.
Hui Kwan?
Yes. Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Oh, yeah, that does look good.
Yes.
Okay.
See.
That one looks really,
It's okay. It doesn't ring a bell, so clearly it's not on my radar.
It's going
and I'm
to
not
be
inspired.
good.
Okay. And I found Ridley Scott's IMDb.
Okay, it's a little spotty in the later years,
Yes.
all right?
Okay. Was Alien Romulus good? It was okay.
More good than bad.
Okay, more good than bad, all right?
More bad than good. What? Okay, never mind.
Mixed.
Go.
Okay, all right. I'm trying to think. Napoleon, he was a producer on. A Haunting in Venice, that was bad. He was a producer on.
Well, just look at the director credits, though. He did.
I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. That's the whole point.
Okay. I liked Raised by Wolves. That was on HBO. I'm sorry, Max. Alien Covenant.
That was bad. No way. I didn't get through the first 2 episodes of Raised by Wolves.
Really?
Yeah, I
Did you not understand it, Mo?
Yes, it was that. It was just too. It was above me.
Was it?
Too high-minded.
Okay, well, if you want me to explain the rest as we watch it together, I mean, we can text each other.
No, that's okay. That's fine.
The Martian or Alien Covenant.
Martian, that was good. I'll give him that.
Prometheus.
That was not good.
Well, mixed.
No, what?
No, that was not good.
There's no mixing. There's no mixing.
God.
That was all bad.
No,
really?
Okay.
Yes.
No, that was bad. I'm still mad at that movie to this day. And even though Alien Romulus tried to sync up some of the timelines and make that movie Prometheus more important in the timeline than it actually was, it doesn't make the movie itself any better.
It's frustrating, but it has some good stuff in it. Robin Hood, American Gangster. Come on.
No, American Gangster was not good either.
That was bad.
What?
That was bad.
Really bad.
That was Denzel and Russell Crowe, right?
Yeah.
That was
really
not good.
bad.
That was not a good movie.
Bad acting,
I saw it in
bad
theaters,
makeup.
and I really wanted it to be good. The story of Frank Lucas, I wanted it to be good. It just wasn't good.
All right. I give up. I mean, we're not going to agree on this stuff. I think he is such a masterful director that he deserves the benefit of the doubt. And so, excuse me, he'll crank out a Code Brown every now and then. But
you listed a lot of
I
Brown.
like the stuff in the 80s.
I'm sorry, you listed a lot of Brown.
Ridley Scott in the 80s and early 90s was fantastic.
Yeah.
But that was 35, 40 years ago.
Yeah, man.
The math is the math.
You have filled your shorts with everything he's put out as of late.
Oh, please. Gladiator was good.
Gladiator?
No, it was not
the
good.
first one was
okay.
good.
It was okay.
You're going to jump on Gladiator.
Yeah, the first one.
It was not a great movie. I'm
the
sorry.
two of you are out of your minds. You need mental help promptly.
Look at the time.
You look at the time.
Go to the news.
You go to the news.
This? How about, Mark, you go ahead and lock out and throw yourself to you.
How about you throw yourself? Never mind. Just let's be serious now for 5 seconds.
Go ahead and lock out and then toss to yourself in the news booth.
I don't have to do what you say. You this is your job.
I'm just asking.
What are you getting paid for?
I get paid either way. I just thought it'd be a great experiment.
You may not be soon.
KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
I said after the most recent Star Wars movie, Episode 9, where somehow, some way, Palpatine came back from the dead, surprised everyone, including everyone in the movie. It's like, what, he's back? Is that what we're doing? No Snoke? I said after that movie, I was done with Star Wars movies. And I said it and I meant it. They have to have a reason for me to get back and watch a Star Wars movie. It's almost like they don't care about actual fans. They're just making up stuff and slapping Star Wars on it. Disregarding all canon, disregarding all available source material, which could have made for a much better trilogy. The question is, what's going to be in this new trilogy? Because there will be another 3 Star Wars movies. Originally, it was supposed to be helmed by Rian Johnson, who did The Last Jedi, arguably the worst Star Wars movie in the history of Star Wars by a lot. He was supposed to do episodes 10, 11, and 12. Something happened, maybe to all of you remember. Now he's no longer doing episodes 10, 11, and 12. The good news is, well, no, but I'm saying the good news is they're supposed to have one director, a singular vision across 3 movies. When you get different directors, like you had J.J. Abrams and then Rian Johnson, they did 2 different movies trying to create 2 different storylines, trying to appeal to 2 different audiences. It felt like it, and it sucked when it turned out that way. And then he brought back J.J. Abrams to try to clean up the mess, and he tried to tell his own story and tie it all together in 70 minutes. And it didn't make sense because there was no lead up to Palpatine coming back, which was dumb in and of itself.
Yeah. Now
they have Simon Kinberg, who's tapped to write and produce the next 3 Star Wars movies. The good news, as I said, it's one person. It's a singular vision. I think that is preferable than having different directors. Unlike, you can get away with that with a TV series. You can get away with that with The Mandalorian. You can have different directors for each episode. You can't do that for movies as part of a franchise. You've seen franchises like Jurassic World suffer, I think, for that same reason. Franchises usually need to have some cohesiveness and some continuity. And when you just drop in different directors, it all goes to pot. So Simon Kinberg is going to write and produce the next 3 Star Wars movies. But there's also, there are rumors at this point. It hasn't been confirmed, but it would be a continuation of the Skywalker saga. I'm not sure if that means it's going to be a time jump back before Rey, or it's going to be after Rey and pick up where episode 9 left off. I would like to see the source material from the books integrated into the cinematic universe.
Yeah.
I would. Yeah. That's what they should have done for episodes 7, 8, 9 and given the fans what they wanted. But they decided to go in this other direction, create all these new characters, which were really tied to nothing. And some of them, they were biting off the books as far as Ben Solo, what have you, but they didn't tell Ben Solo's story.
Yeah.
It was a different Ben Solo. It was a character who, yes, was the son of Leia and Han, but it wasn't the Ben Solo in the Legends books. I hope they get back to talking about the actual source material and the characters. I would love to see Mara Jade. Would love to.
No, look, this guy's got an eye for films. He was the producer of the first 2 Deadpool films, executive produced Deadpool, Wolverine. He produced The Martian, the Mr. and Mrs. Smith series, which I really, really liked. The Sherlock Holmes, Robert Downey Jr. You know, so he's got an eye for doing stories that make sense and that are entertaining.
Call back to something we were talking about earlier. I hate getting into series the first season because more times than not, they're not brought back. And they may bring back Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but it won't be with the original characters. There's going to be a different Mr. and Mrs. Smith for season 2. So I felt like I just wasted, I don't know how many months watching that series because you had to wait for each episode each week.
Yeah.
And I don't get any payoff as far as those characters that we were developed alongside with them. They went into this secret organization. We saw how they grew over the course of the season together. And now, we got to start all over again. What's the point in that? That's why it's hard for me to get into series when they're brand new and there's just only one season available.
But as far as the production quality on it, it was great. The writing quality and all that. I hear you. The end was jarring. It was like, wait, what?
And we won't know how it turned out.
Yeah.
We're just having to fill in the blanks. Who lived? Who died? What happened? Were there any consequences for living? Did they leave the life? Did they stay in the life? We don't get any of those answers. That's very unfulfilling and empty for me.
Well, let's hope that he finishes the Star Wars Skywalker saga once and for all.
Yeah. I no disrespect to Daisy Ridley, but I would much rather have seen more of what happened to Luke to drive him away from the Force, or the development of this new Jedi Academy, than just flashbacks and only snippets of it.
Yeah, even Leia's growth in the Force, all those things. Yeah,
it was just a montage of her being trained by Luke. That's all we get. That's all we got. I need someone to explain to me how she can float in space just using the Force, because that made no sense at all.
Don't remind me.
That movie was so damn bad.
Slow speed chase.
Vice Admiral evening gown.
Yeah. Terrible.
It's later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And when we come back, we have a Space Force update. Since Trump is back, Space Force is back.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
The Space Force, because it's a whole... We need it.
KFI Mo Kelly live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And the U.S. has this secretive military unmanned drone plane spacecraft, if you will, the X-37B. There have been artist renderings. What it looks like a mini space shuttle, for lack of a better description. And it was launched on its 7th mission in December of last year, December 2023. And it's in a weird, my word, elliptical orbit, and it's changing its orbit by using a new maneuver called aerobraking, and it's allowing it to change its orbit without consuming unnecessary amounts of fuel, which makes it more cost effective and allows it to do longer missions because it's not burning as much fuel as it would without the aerobraking. What it's doing exactly in orbit, we don't know. I can hazard a guess. If you have an unmanned drone-like spaceship out there, which can stay out there months at a time, you can get a good look at everybody's satellite capabilities. If there are any satellites with weaponry on them, I'm quite sure that's what an X-37B would be doing. If there are any aliens out there, we want to know about it, and the X-37B would see it. But to be serious, no, there are a lot of practical applications as far as why this ship would be up there for any length of time. And I would have to assume, given the advancement that we all know just in camera technology, the stuff that satellites can see, imagine a much more mobile satellite, if you will, like the X-37B, which could tell you what is happening in any hotspot around the world being able to see what is happening down to, the size of a quarter in Syria or in Ukraine and Russia or any of the other countries without violating airspace. This obviously would have all sorts of military applications and advantages for us, given where it is and where it's operating. But we don't know exactly what it is doing, and we don't know exactly, or at least we don't, you and me, we don't know the capabilities of this. But we are getting some sense of how long it's going to stay up there, how it's going to be able to lengthen its stay up there, and see what it can see. Do you remember, Stefan? I'm going to ask you this one. Do you remember the old military photos of satellites that were shown from the late 1960s? If you get a chance, look them up if you haven't seen it, because the technology then was pretty damn impressive as far as what satellites could see in the 1960s, almost 60 years ago. And you have to imagine what you can see on Google Maps right now, which is available to the public, probably is 1/10 what the military can do. And I'm just imagining that if you have the best military technology out there and a super agile mobile satellite, if you will, which could let you see what is going on in any country, at least in a top-down sense, that's probably pretty formidable. And I see you Googling right now. Those things I was fascinated with just in the early 1970s growing up.
Okay, that's impressive.
Okay, explain what you see. So
it's almost like an HD shot of the Earth, and it says right there 1968 photo.
In 1960s. Okay, what do you think they have in 2024?
Yeah,
aboard the X-37B.
Man, they'd be shooting in 4K or something.
4K, and probably could see the dandruff on your head. That's what I'm imagining. I get into this, and for as much as, and I've said this before, and bears mentioning again. Is that okay? Can I say bears mentioning, Mark? Because you always want to correct my use of.
I wouldn't dream of such a
phraseology.
No. Everything you do is perfect.
Okay, it doesn't beg the question, but it bears mentioning.
No, we don't do question begging around here.
It bears mentioning that, yes, I may criticize former President Trump, soon to be president again, President-elect Trump, about a number of things, but I've always been supportive of Space Force. At first, I thought it was a joke. Then the more and more that we saw of it, the more and more liked it. It's still kind of funny. But it is very necessary. You disagree?
I don't know. I just hope there's no Klaatu and Gort out there, because if there are, we're getting torched.
Oh, no. I think there is a Klaatu and Gort. And yes, we will eventually get torched, because we deserve, to be annihilated by some superior race.
I think that famous phrase from the day the earth stood still, Klaatu Barada Nikto, translates to, you can't have nice things.
Yeah, we're just going to take all of your technology, all of your technological capability, and send you back to the Stone Age. There's only one scene I liked from the remake.
Oh.
The one with John Cleese.
I barely remember it. I saw it once and thought it was an abomination.
No, it was.
And I think the original from, 55?
54, 55, something like that.
Yeah, in that area. It's a masterpiece.
It is, but the scene with John Cleese, where they talk about math, science, art, a civilization on the precipice, and that's when civilizations actually evolve and make that jump to a better civil society, because they've been pushed to the brink of destruction, and they realize the petty differences they have are not as important as the survival of the species.
Yeah, let's see how that works out for us.
Oh, no, I was making a direct parallel. No, but that scene with John Cleese, in fact, I'll try to find it during the break, because it's worth playing to as a matter of fact, I know exactly where it is. I'll play it when we come back.
Okay, is John Cleese supposed to be in the Sam Jaffe role as the brilliant scientist in the
Correct.
first one? Okay, all right, and so that's the one where Klaatu, Mr. Carpenter, finishes his equation on the chalkboard?
Correct.
And guess why they call him Mr. Carpenter?
Why is that?
It's a Jesus reference.
Oh, really? I didn't catch that one. Okay. All right. Look at your stuff. All your Christianity coming out.
And what happens to him at the end of the movie? Well, that's a spoiler. Is it a spoiler what happens to Jesus?
Well, in the updated version, he just sticks around and accepts his fate.
Yeah. Okay. Uplifting.
Yeah, but I would be the same way. It's like, look, if the end of the world is coming, I'm not trying to run. I'm just done. I'm the old couple on the Titanic, hugging up on the bed as the water comes around them.
No,
That's
you're
me.
the old couple in the It's a Small World ride.
That's a callback.
That's
Go
a
ahead,
good
give it to him.
callback.
Yeah, it's a callback. I'll wait.
Look at the thumb on the scale.
He is so slow on the draw tonight.
Yeah,
you
really.
take a few days off, and now you need to stretch before you come to work and get back into the swing of things.
It's been a long week.
Can't argue with that.
That is accurate.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
And before we get out of here, last segment, we were talking about the movie The Day the Earth Stood Still, both the original and the remake. And for me, there was one redeeming scene. One. And it had John Cleese. If you know the movie with Keanu Reeves, it's when Keanu Reeves, the alien, is confronted with a very smart Earthling, and they duel with something like this.
Must be alternatives. You must have some technology that could solve our problem.
Your problem is not technology. The problem is you. You lack the will to change.
Then help us change.
I cannot change your nature. You treat the world as you treat each other.
But every civilization reaches a crisis point eventually.
Most of them don't make it.
Yours did. How?
Our sun was dying. We had to evolve in order to survive.
So it was only when your world was threatened with destruction that you became what you are now.
Yes.
Well, that's where we are. You say we're on the brink of destruction, and you're right. But it's only on the brink that people find the will to change. Only at the precipice do we evolve. This is our moment. Don't take it from us. We are close to an answer.
Prophetic? Maybe. But in our version, we probably won't change. We won't. We are not going to change. But I thought that scene, and it's much longer than that. That's just like a snippet from it, because you get a sense of the fullness of the human condition with music and art and all the things. It was weird that Keanu Reeves' character, the alien, had no idea about all those things about Earth civilization, yet supposedly knew everything about Earth civilization. Didn't know about Mozart. I didn't quite figure that out.
And by the way, I was wrong. It was 51 the day the Earth stood still
51.
came
Okay.
out. I thought it was 55-ish.
I did too. So you weren't wrong by yourself.
It's funny to me how overly optimistic all that seems at this point, given everything we know about the direction we're heading.
Well, I've never had any faith in humanity. Never.
I've always liked that about you.
But I'm being very serious, and it's funny when I say funny. It's aha funny, not haha funny. It's funny how people assume that the election of the loss of Kamala Harris somehow affects me in some way. Not at all. Not in the least.
What do you mean?
Well, people assume that I'm some far lefty, and you know me personally, Mark, and you know that's not true. You know that's not true.
No, you're not.
But the perception is that my whole life was going to come to an end if Kamala Harris didn't win. And it could not be further from the truth. Could not be. I talk about politics. I don't personally invest myself in politics. My life is not going to change at all. Well, actually, I'll be on more TV show hits because of Trump winning. There'll be more to talk about. But, it doesn't impact me in that way. I'm not emotionally tied to any of this. But people want me to be. When I say people, I'm just reading my social media messages that people keep sending me.
Are you getting some smack talk at Mr. Mo Kelly?
No. Oh, that was so dirty. That was low of you. You just had to throw that out there. But to answer your question, yes, I get it every day. Every day. And it's fine as long as people are respectful. If you want to discuss issues, that's fine. But if you want to lob insults, Stefan knows what's coming. Yeah, if you want to get out of pocket, I'll just block you. It's like, Mo, you're just such a freaking Mo, you're just a I will kick your Mo, I bet you're crying tonight because it's just block. Just block. I love blocking people because I know they want to get a piece of me and I won't give them that.
I really miss seeing your Twitter arguments, but I'm on the verge of abandoning Twitter myself.
I kind of do too.
I miss it, but it was occupying too much of my emotional space and time. It was fun. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, that's for sure. Because I remember I'd get up to start getting ready for the day. It was only like 9 a.m. and there was already like 3 different arguments that you were a part of. And I'm like, jeez.
Look, it was like beating up on white belts in class. The white belts always think they got a fighting chance, and they don't know that you're slowing down so you can teach them some things. You're not actually fighting. And then every once in a while, you got to kick them in the head to let them know you're not ready. You need to just slow down and learn some stuff. But it's always like, Mo, if I ever see you, whatever, dude, whatever.
Well, I said I miss your fights on Twitter. I don't do that because I always stop myself and think, what exactly is it that I win if I win an argument with this dope?
I don't usually try to win an argument. I use the arguments to highlight a larger point. I may use what they're saying and I'll quote them to say, see this. So I'm just pointing. This is an example of someone who doesn't know. Like, for example, I was in an argument with someone on Instagram at Mark Ronner. I was having a fight with someone on Instagram who was trying to tell me that there was no price gouging. And I was, quote unquote, clueless on it. It's like, wait a minute, you obviously don't know this subject. So I was posting articles. I was quoting, Kroger executives, and I was using it to highlight. It's like, no, if I'm going to talk about something on the air, just know I've done my homework. Now, you may disagree with my ultimate opinion, but I've done my homework. And if you don't know that, then you're going to get embarrassed on social media. Yes, I will say that.
And since you put my stuff out there, just know that
what out there?
My whole Instagram is nothing but cat pictures. I don't get into anything with anybody on there. It's just my late cats. That's it. Nothing.
You can't put up any live cats?
Well, I'm still grieving the other 2. It's only been 3 years.
I get that. You don't ever stop grieving, be it family member or pet. You don't.
No. We'll get more eventually, but there's I don't put any politics or anything else up on. In fact, it's hard post-election because I got to tell you, some of the punditry is so stupid and irritating that it's really hard not to. I forced myself not to copy one today and say dumbest take I've ever seen because I knew that was going to engage the guy and spread his dumb take even further. You got to have self-restraint.
I know. That's why I'm
at Mr. Mo Kelly.
That's why I'm locking out now because I'm showing self-restraint. KFI AM 640, we're live everywhere, the iHeartRadio app.
Life moves pretty fast. If you don't let KFI fill you in once in a while, you could miss it.
KFI
and KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live.